Good morning, friends. This is Pastor Lorri here with First United Methodist Church in Kirksville, and it is good to be with you here today on this Friday morning. And here in Northeast Missouri, it is a snowy morning this morning. As I look outside, it is white and snowy. The snow is falling, and as we were waking up this morning, my kids got to hear those words that are like music to many kids' ears: snow day. Now, I don't know if you grew up in a time and place in which snow days were part of growing up. Those days where suddenly there was no school. Your routines got completely upended, and for many who got to experience snow days, a snow day is a time to play. Those routines normally go on. Now, that's not true if you live on a farm. Animals always need to be fed, chores always need to be done. But there's often, with a snow day, that chance to just go run in the snow and play and throw snowballs. And if there is any kind of incline and young people are around, something is going to slide down the hill, right? Whether it's a big hill, a little hill, whether it's on a shovel or a cardboard box or a cafeteria tray or a sled, something is going down. And so for many, snow day brings to mind these thoughts of play. Now, I don't know about you. This may not describe you anymore. Sometimes as we get older, snow day doesn't bring quite the joy that it did when we were young, unless snow day also means we don't have to go to work either and don't have to get out in it. But think back. Was there a time when you can recall that sort of joy, that just wonderful sense that today is different. Today is something brand new. I was reading about how play can be a form of prayer this week. There's a book by Mary Kate Morse about different forms of prayer, and one of her chapters is about play as a way of connecting with God. And she talks a lot about how Jesus often referred to the disciples as little children. Sometimes our translations translate that differently. We may get followers instead of the original words that often were ones used for very small children and infants. And Jesus loved the children and invited them to come near. Most of us have maybe heard that story when Jesus was meeting with people, and parents and grandparents were bringing their children to be blessed by Jesus, and the disciples were ready to cut that off. That was distracting Jesus from his main work, they thought. And we hear that instead Jesus says, no, let the little children come to me. Because it's when we are like little children, he reminds us, that we can best understand the kingdom of God and the kingdom of heaven. That reliance on God, and also that joy of the Spirit. Because as that chapter I was reading reminded me, life's disappointments can stack up like pancakes. And we've been through a heavy couple of years, right? For many of us. And so our stack of life's disappointments may feel like a huge stack of thick pancakes right now. And so maybe we need a snow day. Maybe we need to play. Now, for some of us, that may not look like going out in the snow. But what would be something in your life that is play? That is just different from your normal sense of routine and responsibility, and has that weighty sense of, I have to do this. When we think about how is it with your soul, if the answer is heavy, if the answer is, I am just weighed down, I am feeling overwhelmed, that may be a time where we want to watch, to keep our eyes open for the invitation of Jesus to play. Now, that might be as simple as if you've been watching for the last couple months, you know we have a kitten in our house, and this little black kitten is all about play. Play and eat and sleep and, attack things, which is a form of play. And it doesn't have to take much. A little tiny crumpled up ball of paper can suddenly become that kitten's world, and all of its energy is focused on that play. You may be able to hear it jingling in the background as it's playing with a little cord that's wrapped around something. And maybe we need that reminder by watching them, by getting out of our own routines, that some kind of play. Because as the world feels big and overwhelming, it can be in that sense of play that brings us into the present moment, where we're not thinking about the mistakes and worries and heaviness of the past. We're not thinking about the worries and headaches and fears of the future. We're simply enjoying that moment. Maybe it takes place, we are reminiscing with somebody else about times that we have had that play, those good moments in the past. We wound up in our house the other night with my teenagers talking about some of our family vacations and moments they remembered from childhood, and we laughed as we were sharing those memories. And it was good. It was play. It was that moment in the present, even as we reminisced. And so as we do that, we may notice afterwards that if we pause for a moment to ask, how is it with my soul now? We may find that the answer is a little different. Maybe God seems closer. Maybe we feel more comforted. Maybe we can see the beauty in life more clearly. And so as you go into these days ahead, as you go into the rest of today, may you find moments to have that joy of a snow day. May you have moments to just be present, to just soak in the moment. Your responsibilities, your worries, they'll probably still be there. Hopefully the worries won't be quite as much, but the rest can be. So be present, watch for God's fingerprints, and go in peace and joy, my friends. I'll see you here next week. Take care.